Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to. On today's episode, we're talking about last night's NXT with the best, honestly, the best segment I've seen in a long time on NXT. I'm talking about the ongoing crisis of confidence, the existential crisis, I should say, of one Von Wagner, where they made explicit reference to the Come Tuesday meme. Yes, Larson, you have a question immediately.
Here's the issue, though.
Yeah.
I don't think Vaughn is having any sort of crisis. I think Stone is having the crisis on Vaughn's behalf.
He thinks, he might have gotten bum goods.
Because it feels like Vaughn's just upset with losing, but he didn't really feel like anything's necessarily, or he can't really put the finger on what's wrong. He just knows that he's tired of losing.
Yeah, he's probably tired of listening to Robert Stone tell him that he's got no connection to anybody. We're going to talk about that on the show today because I thought it was a pretty fun episode of NXT. We're also going to talk about Ring of Honor television. When will these tapings go down? We've got some confirmation from one Anthony Khan is telling us, is giving us the scoop. Not us personally. He did it somewhere else. One day we'll get him here on the show, Larson.
It seems like we just have to invite him and he'll do it.
I feel like he's like doing everybody's show. I think he'd probably be hyped to be here on Going In Raw, but
well,
be awkward. Oh, dude, give me a break. Come on. He'd love it. Especially when we tamper with Luke's contract and get him here on Going In Raw. Hey, Luke,
well,
Luke, I'm going to get you back in the DMs.
Because, if Luke were to join us, then we have some serious cachet. Yeah,
I know, exactly, dude. He's
just us.
Number one, he's a heavy hitter. More importantly, a lovely guy. Which really, honestly, between the two of us, man, we need that.
Yeah, neither of us is terribly lovely. No.
Neither of us have any lovely cachet, dude, is what I'm saying. No. Anyways, we're also going to talk about this right now. Dax, possible return for AEW for AEW for FTR. He said this on the most recent episode of FTR without Cash Wheeler, just Dax Harwood. Dax Harwood talked about a possible return to AEW. These transcripts come to you via Wrestling Inc. He says, I really miss wrestling, but I still have to take things easy, let my body rest, let my mind rest, recuperate, and just be ready. If we come back before April, I would absolutely love that. If Tony's on board with that and that's what he wants, I would love to. And if that's not what he wants, it's his company, I will do whatever he says because I trust him and he's the boss.
It's interesting that Dax said this the episode after Gun Club win the tag titles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When that happened, there was two obvious paths for who the Gun Club to lose those titles. I guess it's the Guns now. They're not Gun Club anymore. Who they're going to lose those titles to is either they'll drop them back to the Acclaimed or FTR will come back and beat them for them.
Yeah.
And not that Dax talking about a return before April, before their contracts expire, necessarily guarantees they're coming back. But between this and these comments about the Guns, it's just interesting that now of all times he would talk about this stuff. And it wouldn't necessarily surprise me if they came back, I don't know, before Revolution or something, or before Revolution had one last short run with the titles and then maybe drop them back to the Acclaimed if they're on their way, or maybe they're going to stick around. Who knows?
If you want a better, bigger, more sellable match than an Acclaimed the Guns rematch, make it a triple threat. The Acclaimed FTR and the Guns at Revolution. Yeah. And then you can revisit a straight up one-on-one because the Acclaimed would win that match. And then on Dynamite or whatever, you revisit a one-on-one with the Acclaimed and the Guns where the Acclaimed get that win back. Absolutely. Yeah. Why wouldn't you do that? Sure. If they have until April and then they're going to, go their separate ways, you have FTR, use them. Use them. Absolutely.
And if FTR are going to leave AEW to pursue other opportunities, then it'd be nice to give them a proper send-off.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, let that crowd,
Their run in AEW, has been, especially in 2022, was really fantastic, despite for stretches not being on TV, thanks to whatever Tony Khan was thinking. But in terms of solidifying their legacy as one of the great tag teams, not just now, but ever, they really had an opportunity to do that in AEW because it gave them the opportunity to wrestle other places and win titles other places. man, their 2022, especially the first half, was one for the record books. So it'd be cool if they were given an opportunity to say their goodbyes to the AEW galaxy. Isn't that what the JAS calls?
Oh yeah, the galaxy.
The fans.
Yeah, absolutely, makes sense. Yeah, no, I agree, man. I agree with all that. It'd be nice to let, like you said, that crowd really acknowledge FTR before they go back to being the Revival.
Appreciate
That's going to be the situation. Appreciate us. Yeah, absolutely. And a revolution there here on the West Coast. That'd be awesome. That'd be great.
That would be pretty cool. Speaking about Dax, talking about the Guns, talked about them, the former rivals, new AEW tag champs. This is what you had to say. These transcripts come to us from our good friends over at Wrestle Talk.
Luke.
This is what Dax had to say, quote, "They are guys who study the craft and try to be better. They're also a couple of guys who made it to the top because of who their father is. They never had to be in the trenches, or they've never had to travel to those little shitty shows to make a buck or get seen. All they know is AEW or national television wrestling. With that, they may not think it, and they may not be doing it on purpose, but with that, they think that everything should be catered to them. I will say, there aren't too many acts in wrestling that people absolutely despise. They despise these guys. They get the ass boys chance. When they won the tag belts, the people were mad. When you think about what wrestling is, you want people to be mad or to feel a certain way. They felt a certain way about that title change. Who knows what's going to happen in the future or where the story is going. There has been a story to this. This is a year-long story that I wish people would stop and think, oh, you're right. There is a backstory and a long history. It's another chapter in this story. Congratulations to them. Their first ever tag team championships. I look forward to seeing what the Ass Boys and Acclaim do next." This seems like he's setting up a match here.
The Larson narrative of FTR is coming back to, I think you're right. I think this could definitely be interpreted as that, and I'd love to see it. But I also let me ask you something. I do not want to participate in any tribalistic behavior here.
Certainly, yes.
Is AEW losing the benefit of the doubt the way that, this is terrible. I'm going to get killed we're going to get killed in the comments.
Well,
is
you for sure. Depends what I say.
I'm asking the question because I
be the
don't
first
know.
to respond. Yes. Okay. Anyways, go ahead. Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be I'm making sure it's
Fine.
on you.
Fine. I'm cool with it. Go ahead.
Because one of the reasons why I think there was so much anger over the Ass Boys winning, because I think what Dax is saying here is true.
Yeah.
I think that this is a good story. I think it's clear if you've watched the damn show that they have grown by a lot over the past year as an act, as characters.
Mm-hmm. As performers, yeah.
Part of the rage that I saw did seem to be, oh, well, AEW doesn't know what they're doing. They're jobbing out the Acclaimed, and they're not buying into the story. Is AEW losing the benefit of the doubt because they have had some creative missteps over the past year?
Yeah, they are. Look at a good chunk of 2022.
Nice. The heat's off me. You got your heat back. You got your heat back.
I got
Larson.
you, buddy. I got you. No, they are, because for a good chunk of 2022, and I imagine, yes, some circumstances, luck didn't exactly go their way. They had plans, obviously, for Phil when he won the title. Day after he won, or the Wednesday after he wins the title, he breaks his foot. They have to adjust a bunch of stuff. He comes back, gets hurt again, and then goes on his tirade at the All Out scrum. Had to change a bunch of stuff again. Things from a storyline perspective, in terms of there being more stories, have gotten better, but that's not to say that it's a home run across the board.
Yeah,
from a creative standpoint, and I think 2022 for a lot of people may have been pretty eye-opening when it came to AEW, because there was a lot of good stuff creatively in 2021.
Yeah,
even the first half of 2022. We saw that's when the MJF Punk feud was happening. There was a lot of good stuff there. Mm-hmm. But especially the second half of the year, and I know there's probably some circumstances outside Tony Khan's control that made him change stuff, but from a creative standpoint, far too often, it wasn't really captivating television.
Yeah.
They always have good wrestling on AEW.
Oh, it's
count on
there.
good matches.
It's always there, yeah.
But it's whether there's the stories behind the matches that really gets you invested in the outcome. Mm-hmm. Is really what takes it to the next level, whether you're really going to be into it. Mm-hmm. And I just think for a lot of 2022, especially basically the entire second half, there was too many instances where there wasn't quality creative behind the quality wrestling. And then we see it all the time where people are on TV for a stretch and then they're gone. Mm-hmm. and then it's seemingly months before they come back. And I think especially in the case of the Acclaimed, where it's not just a catchphrase. I think most people really do like the Acclaimed. They're the most popular act in AEW,
they are,
without a doubt.
Yeah, without a doubt, yeah.
And there's been instances where people have dropped titles and then disappeared from TV.
Yeah.
And people don't want that to happen with the Acclaimed, and I understand why they would feel that way.
There's a
in that sense, yes, AEW is totally, I won't say completely lost the benefit of the doubt, but they've lost some of the benefit of the doubt for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you're right about that. So you guys can get your pitchforks out and come after.
Yeah, come after me. It's fine. I don't read the comments anyway. So it's fine.
I'll take care of that business. Oh man. Yeah, I don't know. I'd love to see, I'm glad that Dax is giving the Guns their flowers, so to speak, because I think they have done, and it needs to be recognized. But yeah, I'll be honestly, and maybe this is a Charlie Brown football kind of moment. I don't know. I'd be surprised if the Acclaim didn't get those titles back at Revolution. But then, dude, we just saw on Rampage, they seem to be distracted also by the Jarrett group.
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know. They're not just going to have the Acclaim move on, are they? Is Tony Khan going to do that?
I would hope not. I'd hope they'd still be in the title picture.
Yeah.
But if they're not, as long as they're still on TV and involved in like stories that keep them on television,
yeah,
then that's better than what we've seen happen in the past,
What's on the card for tonight? Like, I'm trying to remember what the preview was for tonight. Like, is there any, hold on a second, AEW on the Twitter. Here we go. All Elite Wrestling. Let's see if there's a preview up. There's tonight. Lucha Brothers live in action tonight. Oh, they're on Laredo.
Oh, they just added that. Okay, cool.
Let's see here. Meet and greet. What's going on? That's nothing. Maybe
so I did see. I meant to. So it's Tony Storm, Ruby, and Britt. Triple threat. Wardlow sits down with JR, but then also Adam Cole has a sit-down interview with Renee. Oh, here we go. Mark Briscoe versus Josh Woods.
Woodsy.
I'm
beyond the solo act on this excursion.
Brian Cage versus Jungle Boy. Mox and Claudio versus Roosh and Preston Vance.
What is this, Rampage?
I'm not done yet. Orange Cassidy, the Acclaimed, and Billy Gunn versus Double J, Jeff Lethal, Satnam. Oh, Sanjay Dutt's supposed to wrestle.
Love that you call him Jeff Lethal.
Oh, sorry, Jay Lethal. And then Hangman versus Kip Sabian.
Okay, so if the Guns show up during that Acclaimed match, then for sure that shit's going down. If like the Lucha Brothers come after the Guns, then oh my God, what are they doing over there?
I know.
Right? Like no way. No, I can't believe that would happen. I cannot believe that would happen. The Guns have to. So. The Guns have to engage with the Acclaim this week.
You would think so, yeah.
They have to.
You would think so, yeah. Absolutely.
That'd be nuts. So I don't know. Anyways, speaking of AEW, the AEW umbrella includes, of course, the Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
If you're wondering when the hell they're actually going to start production on weekly television, Tony Khan provided you with an answer today during an appearance. Well, if you have been wondering about it, have you been wondering when they're going to start?
But he didn't reference me by name, did he?
Not that I know of.
All
you
right.
wrote these notes, so you should know. Tony Khan revealed that Ring of Honor will hold their first round of TV tapings later on this month, February 25th and 26th in Orlando. Ooh, in WWE.
Quite the hotbed of professional wrestling is
NXT
Orlando.
Territory right there, man.
Yeah,
Who's going to show up? Von
Wagner? Also,
Wagner?
it used to be TNA's territory first, so.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, Orlando, isn't that where Disney World is?
Yeah, that's where they gave Hogan that huge parade when he signed with WCW.
Jesus, wait a second. So Disney World and Universal Studios is in Orlando?
Yeah.
Man, that's crazy. Yeah. What a
hotbed of entertainment.
This? Well, I'm just putting it together. I don't know.
Oh, all right.
I don't know if I've ever had a reason to think about the fact that Disney World and Universal Studios in the same town.
Yeah.
Depending
on your definition of the same town, so is Universal Studios and Disneyland. It's all in the Los Angeles municipal area.
If I'm not mistaken, Los Angeles is a lot bigger than Orlando, though.
I don't know, man. We are Orlando. It's pretty spread out.
Yeah, eyes on the ground, huh? Oh, man.
Oh,
Anyways.
Cultaholic with the raid. Thank you very much, Cultaholic.
Oh, thank you, guys. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. See, Kid Anime says also MGM Studios as well is in Orlando.
Orlando's
It's not just Disney World. Like Disney World has 3 different parks there?
Hold on a second. Well, I'll get to the bottom of this, Larson. Hey, Siri, how big is Orlando? Fuck.
Well, you want me in population? That's much smaller in Los Angeles. It might actually be much smaller.
It's only got 1.5 million. Doesn't LA have 10 million or something like that?
Well, the municipal area does, yeah.
Hey, Siri, how many people live in the greater Los Angeles area?
But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about square mileage, which I'm sure Los Angeles
18,000 people. That's a lot more than Orlando. Holy crap. But they cram all of that entertainment value.
18,000 people, you said?
Yeah, they cram all that entertainment value into such a small area. Los Angeles is spread out. Los Angeles could be, it's like its own state, basically. Weren't they going to split up California into 3 parts before?
There was 2 and then 3, yeah.
Yeah. You ever heard of the state of Jefferson? It's supposed to be Northern California and Oregon. It's all survivalists.
Yeah, it's not
and militia
good.
People.
Nothing good.
Anyways, let's talk about NXT last night. Of course, I put this on the thumbnail if you're watching on the YouTube. I mean, dude, I don't know why. We only have 250 people watching on the YouTube concurrently right now. That's about half of what it usually is. But this thumbnail, I would have expected quadruple the number that we usually get. This should be 2,000 concurrents right now.
Is this one of those situations where you are so enraptured with the image?
Yeah, pretty much.
What it means to us.
Yeah, right. Yeah, totally.
That maybe it's hard to realize that just because it's so dear to us,
yeah,
it might not be so dear to other people.
Hey, Siri, how great is Von Wagner? She said, here's what I found. And then there's nothing in here about Von. 5 minutes that will make you love Wagner.
It would be ironic and apropos if you said that and the only thing that popped up was the Come Tuesday meme, because what a way to reference it. I think Wes Lee mentioned it a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, it was last week. He said, come Tuesday, you and I are going to throw down or whatever.
But this was a direct reference to the meme of Come Tuesday. So, of course, Von Wagner's going through a losing streak, and seemingly Robert Stone's going through a bit of an existential crisis because of this for Von. Because Von just is seemingly upset that he's losing and just doesn't want to lose. I feel like that's the extent of the thought process that Von has put into this.
Yeah.
I'm tired of losing, I don't want to lose anymore. Whereas Robert Stone is being a bit more thoughtful. And pretty much saying, hey, Von, I don't know who you are. You keep putting up these walls. No one knows who you are. And if no one knows who you are, no one can connect with you. If no one's going to connect with you, then they're not going to care about you. So, Von, you got to break the walls down, is what he said.
Yeah.
And open up and allow people to connect with you, Von Wagner, as a person. I'm sitting here watching this, and Robert Stone's reducing Von Wagner's contribution to the wrestling world to one fantastic meme. And I'm like, Von's got a lot more going for him based on that one meme than a lot of people in pro wrestling. So don't tear him down to that degree, Robert Stone.
Oof. Yeah, but it's a really limited thing. I mean, I get where Robert Stone's coming from.
Oh, I do too. I'm being sarcastic.
The question is, well, it's a good point, though. I'd rather have a meme than be stuck in catering. I mean, Von's on TV. We don't have to make up a Von Wagner, which, by the way, our Von Wagner skits have more character than Von Wagner's character does.
Yeah. Well, I suppose we should. Oh, I guess he was on the show, so we can't pick up.
We can't do that. Yeah, we can't pick it up. It just, he found his way. He found a way to wipe his ass, and he showed up at the Performance Center, and then he confronted Wes Lee. So, but no, I don't know. Yeah, I thought it was a nice little bit of self-awareness from NXT, understanding that I mean, it's a weird meta storyline. I don't want to get too much into the weeds about it. I did the thumbnail because I thought it'd be funny and something different for us. But no, it did crack me up, and the idea that a wrestler, it's just a very weird meta story. It's man, you don't have a connection with the universe. The hell does that matter? What matters is can you beat a guy in the middle of the ring? But they're talking about professional wrestling and having the crowd give a shit about you enough that you'll get a push from the guy who's running the show, HBK, who himself is in a thing with Grayson Waller, which instead of just going on about Von Wagner, is HBK going to have a match, Larson? What's going on with this thing?
No, he's not having a match. He's done. He did the one match with Triple H against Brothers of Destruction a few years back. Seemingly, even though he got a massive paycheck for it, seemingly like something he regretted doing. No, I don't think he's going to do it again. No, someone will have his proxy. Maybe they'll have X-Pac come in. I know X-Pac expressed interest about wanting to have some more matches. I don't know if he's in shape to do that yet or not.
Yeah. This is a good idea. Burwinning says Nathan Frazier.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. He's got the same bob that HBK had when he came back in 2002.
Just needs the brown pants. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So yeah, I think it's clear. I do appreciate. I like the Grayson Waller stuff, and I want to talk about that because number one, the crowd is firmly turning against Bron Breakker.
Oh yes.
And Braun's response to that this week was troubling for Bron.
Yes.
Number two, the crowd is getting behind Grayson Waller, which Grayson Waller's in a great spot right now.
Yep.
With the crowd shifting because of the good work of Grayson Waller, and I think them just getting tired of Bron Breakker, seeing Grayson Waller as, hey, this is a guy that we'd love to see, and the same thing is going to happen tenfold with Carmelo, I guarantee.
Oh yes.
But yeah, Grayson Waller now being elevated to being in a thing with the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels, the guy running NXT. That's a really good spot for him.
It is.
We were joking in the pre-show, but not really joking, we're speculating, which led to jokes because that's how we do it, about the idea that's how you introduce Dragon Lee. I think it would be cooler to have X-Pac come in if he's expressed interest in that, if he's getting ready for that. Look, man, I know it's a 2% botch thing. The idea of HBK maybe not being satisfied with that previous match and suiting up again, I don't see it happening, but I don't know.
I'd be pretty surprised.
Yeah, I'd be really surprised too. I'd be surprised
really
too.
surprised.
I wouldn't really want to see it either.
No, I it seems like his.
To the extent of it, hold on, to the extent of it, I could see it getting to a point where he super kicks Grayson Waller and then immediately regrets it and says that I should never have let it get to this point, and I regret it. Grayson going off, threatening to sue or whatever, and then it turns into a match. But yeah, with the proxy, not with HBK.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised at some level of physicality between him and Waller. But yeah, then turns into a match with the proxy, whether that be someone that's Shawn Michaels' friend like X-Pac or someone in NXT. Nathan Frazier. I've seen people mention Johnny Gargano. Come back to NXT to finally get his pound of flesh from Grayson Waller after writing him off the show pretty much.
Yeah, that's not a terrible idea, but don't you think whoever fights Waller has to win that? Waller's thing right now is this dude he just lost against Tyler Bate, and he's pissed off about that. He lost against Bron Breakker, but his thing is, what do I have to do to be the man? I think they want to get Grayson Waller, if he's not going to show up on main roster, but even to bolster his credentials to get to main roster, he needs to be seen, if not the champion, at least as one of the prominent faces of NXT. So whoever this is, he's got to win. That's why I don't know if it can be a drag like a Nathan Frazier. It could be a Nathan Frazier.
Yeah.
I don't think it could be. Gargano, he's on main roster. I don't know if.
I'd be surprised if he lost that. Yeah.
I mean, the New Day lost their tag match.
Yeah, but they won first.
It was a quadruple threat. It was a four-way.
But then Woods took the pin.
But Woods took the pin, yeah.
So
maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm interested to see where this goes. And you're right. There's definitely a turning of the tide, or has been a turning of the tide in terms of who the NXT universe has embraced as their favorites and not. Because, I mean, and again with Bron, they're making a story out of. That's all that Jinder wanted to talk about. Was he said a small pocket, but. There is a subset of fans that are not into what Bron is doing now because it's the same thing he was doing a year ago. And I think people want progression and growth, especially in a brand that's supposed to be developmental, but then just in terms of general storytelling, you want characters who add layers, who grow, who change. And there just hasn't been a whole lot of change when it comes to Bron. And when faced with the comment that maybe some of the crowd is turning against you, he takes the Cena approach. Well, any reaction is reaction, and that's if they are welcome to have their opinion, and that's fine. And it's like when Cena says that, I feel like, all right, he gets it because he's been to the top of the mountain. He's been the most popular guy in the company, if not in the entire world of professional wrestling.
Yeah.
and he can kind of brush off, or not even just that, embrace when the crowd jeers him.
Yeah.
Whereas when Bron's out there trying to use the same rationale why it doesn't bother him, it just looks like it really bothers him.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Like he stumbled over the line. You know, their fans are allowed to have their opinion. I don't need fans. Give me a dog. You think I give a shit about what they say? That's what he should be saying. Honestly,
I know.
You know, I understand that maybe, and I'm not even gonna say maybe, I'll say probably, Bron Breakker, who I think it was noted was the guy who was like, I don't want to be Steiner. I want to be my own guy. I can see, but then everything he does aesthetically is you know, early Steiners anyways. If the guy doesn't want to be a replica of his uncle, I understand that. His uncle was one of the most interesting characters once he became the big bad booty daddy. I mean, he was a guy who you did not, for whatever, you know, good, bad, like him not, you didn't look away from the guy because you never knew what Scott Steiner was going to do. And I'm not saying he got to be that, but man, you need a character. And it's kind of interesting to me that, again, they would say, like, creatively speaking, you're back there talking to Shawn Michaels, and it's like, hey, the crowd's starting to turn on you. Let's reference it. Let's use it. Well, shouldn't they like be changing his actual character as opposed to, because here's the thing, everything we know about Bron Breakker and how they book this guy, they're going to use this stuff. They're going to do the Jinder, or maybe they don't care because he's going to main roster after WrestleMania. That's probably the thing. They're like, hey, you're going to go to main roster.
But here's the problem.
They can deal with it.
They run though, is that if this anti-Braun sentiment starts to gather steam in NXT, I know like the odds of that kind of sentiment following him to main roster are minimal, but if, like, you know, obviously a small fraction of people who watch main roster watch NXT, but still you get people in the crowd who see what's going on in NXT, and at first, you know, yay, Braun, you know, and then now it's like, boo, Braun, and then you get to the show where he's there, you're like, okay, well, no one in NXT cares about this guy, why should I?
The thing is, if the point of NXT, especially if the point of NXT 2.0 was to develop characters to the point that they are main roster ready, if you don't have a character, nobody's going to give a shit. It's going to be the worst case scenario. It ain't going to be boos. Guess what? It ain't going to be cheers. He'll get the polite golf clap when he comes out the first time, but the second time,
silence.
Who gives a shit?
Yep.
You know, and so, yeah, he's got to find something. And I know if he doesn't want to be Scott Steiner, I get that, and I appreciate that, and I respect that. Absolutely. But you got to find something. You got to find something, man. Yeah. You got to find something. And just being...
what they need to do?
Yeah, go ahead.
They need Braun and Vaughn team up. Because they both got to find something.
Rawgate them together. Bron Wagner.
Bron and Vaughn, yeah.
Yeah, Bron Wagner. Yeah. Von Breakker.
Because Braun might be somewhat a tad more established. But they both need more heft to the... I mean, Braun needs some heft, or Vaughn needs some heft to his character.
Yeah.
But it's an issue. It's an issue for him, for Braun, for Vaughn. And I don't know how they... I mean, with Braun, they just seem to be like, all right, this is just who he is. So
yeah,
he's only here for 2 more months. So
yeah,
ride it out, and then it's Triple H's problem. At
somebody else's problem at that part. Yeah.
But with Vaughn, I mean, it seems like he's been NXT for a while.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yes, or not.
Or not.
I mean, he's taken L's on main event against Mustafa Ali. I know that much.
Yeah. So hopefully they find something for Vaughn. I mean, everything they've tried, all 10 different things they've tried with them, none of them has really worked.
Yeah, part of it is they haven't... We were talking about Von Wagner, right? Yeah. Like, because I didn't hear if you said Braun or Vaughn. We're both talking about both.
I might have been under the weather the last week. You know.
No, you're good. You're good. With Von Wagner, I mean, what have they really tried? You know, I know they
tried to have Kyle O'Reilly be his young boy.
Yeah, I still think that the story of him needing Kyle O'Reilly's help because he found a dead body on his premises was like the best story he never had.
Yeah, but that was something you made up. It wasn't like
that
a
was
real
just
story
we
on
came up
TV.
with.
Yeah. So
it was a good one though.
It was a good one. I mean, like you see with Vaughn, he says come Tuesday, and look how it captured the imagination of wrestling fans everywhere. Even crossed over to non-wrestling fans. I've seen people use that GIF. That meme.
Yeah.
You know, so again, to say that that's all he's ever provided to the wrestling world, I think is selling Vaughn a bit short.
Mm-hmm. It's shocking they haven't had T-shirts.
I know.
Like, you want to sell a lot of T-shirts, you just get that still. Come Tuesday under it. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Money.
Happy Come Tuesday. They should. Dude, they could have sold so much of that for Valentine's Day.
I know.
Yeah.
Rather than embrace it, they've kind of like just ignored it until now, and now they're saying, "Oh, this is all you've ever done." I think that's something. He's done something.
It's his WrestleMania moment.
It really is. It really is.
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't know what to do with him. I really don't. I mean, his whole thing is I'm bigger and stronger than everybody else, but then he just takes L's.
I know.
Yeah.
And how many other people have said that?
Yeah, I know exactly. Yeah.
Like a lot of people. Find a new angle to it. And by the way, Steve, your thumbnail was great. If I had said that, I don't want to get that in there for you.
Dude, my thumb, I don't need you to
I like
tell me
that he's looking.
Anybody, yeah.
At him saying the Come Tuesday bit.
Right. This is all I've done.
Is this all I am?
Is this, it's like the scene in The Nick.
Yeah.
Is this all we are when he's operating on himself and his guts are in his hands? Is this all we are?
Yeah.
God damn it. Yeah.
So maybe what Vaughn should do is he should be the one, he should really embrace that meme. He should be the one with the T-shirts.
He has a T-shirt, yeah.
Yeah. And then Stone's like, no, you got to establish yourself. And he's like, I have. Look.
You said it, buddy.
This is what I am. I'm embracing who I am now.
Yeah. Absolutely. Let's see here. Thank you for the super chat, Dethronic. We're not going to read that one. We are going to talk about Isla Dawn morphing into a water bottle later, though.
That was so weird.
High Plains Drifter also, thank you so much for the super chat. I'm going to get you your T-shirt, I promise. Yeah, that was weird. We'll get to that in a second. But Jacy Jayne also showed up, and she explained her actions, how the greatest faction, and yes, Larson, go ahead.
Wasn't it pretty obvious why she did what she did?
She wanted to stand by herself and make a statement.
Yeah. Like when people do things in wrestling, that's pretty obvious why they did them.
Yeah, and then spend 15 minutes talking about it.
About why they did it. And I'm like, I already know why you did it.
Yeah. Hey, I like that, though. I like she's got her own packaging now. And
yeah. I mean, they're really leading into the stomping and the boot part of it, because there was like a giant boot in part of her Tron in the background.
Yeah. I thought that's that, man, when they replayed that stomp to Gigi Dolan's face, oh my God.
Yeah, that's a stiff stomp.
That was rough, yeah. So no, I thought her promo was good. It was long-winded, and but
I didn't think the promo was bad, but yeah.
As far as like a statement of like, hey, I did this, and you can expect a lot of me around here. I thought that was pretty cool. I think that, getting her off on the right foot, I'm going to be a featured attraction. I think it was a smart move. Yeah. I had to think, attraction. Yeah. I'm going to be a toxic. Okay.
No, I didn't have an issue with the promo or anything she said. It's just the way they framed it going in. Oh, she's going to explain her action. I know why she explained. I know what she did.
You're hoping for some like twist on that one. Like, I know y'all thought that, you guys might think that I did it to make a statement to stand apart, but no, Gigi didn't pay her power bill 3 months in a row. She got to chip in the bills. We're still, as long as she pays me up, we'll be cool again.
Yeah.
But if she doesn't, it's going to be a stomp to the face every time. You guys thought it was because I wanted to be a solo guy, but no.
It's like, no, right now my hand's being forced because I'm paying all the power bills. If I'm paying all the power bill, I get all the spotlight.
I'm just a violent roommate, but better than being a deadbeat roommate like Gigi is.
There you go. See?
Yeah. Peeling the curtain back. That's what Von Wagner's character is, to be bad roommate. Hey.
Oh, there we go.
Hey. Anyways, it kicked off with Grayson Waller. This conversation really is in the spirit of that thumbnail, by the way. But our views have risen to 308 now, Larson.
Well, there we go. Then we've done something right.
It started off with Grayson Waller losing to Tyler Bate. Tyler Bate. This is a terrific match because Tyler Bate is really fantastic. And Grayson Waller is a pretty darn good wrestler himself. In the end, Grayson Waller rolls up Tyler Bate, but grabs the ropes to get some leverage. And the ref is just in clear sight of the ref. He's not trying to be slick about it. The ref sees it, and then Waller lets go of the rope and allows Bate to reverse that roll up into one of his own to get the win. Afterwards, the Waller argues with the ref as Bate does his pose in the ring.
Yeah. Yeah, Waller's basically like chasing after the ref as the ref's trying to leave because he's arguing with him.
Yeah.
So we go to earlier in the day, and it's Jensen and Briggs in the locker room, and Jensen is talking to Briggs about how he's nervous. He's got his date on Valentine's Day with Kiana James, and he's like, Briggs,
He ain't never done it.
And then that's what Briggs says. Like, that's okay. There's been plenty of 22-year-olds who've never hit a home run before. And then Jensen says, I've never even been on base.
Damn.
And then Briggs says, you've never kissed a woman before? And then Briggs proceeds to talk about his, was it 90-10?
It's 90-10 rule, yeah. It's like you go in 90%, they go in the 10. I mean, dude, I never had that problem, man. For me, it was a 20-80 situation. They'd roll in 80, wow. I'd bring the other 20 back, yeah. Yeah, that 20 would have some heat behind it, though, I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So then Briggs is like, here, let's practice.
Mm-hmm.
And so he goes in 90, and he says, all right, last 10%'s on you. And then Fallon steps in, and she's like, what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
And they try to explain it, and then Fallon says, Jensen, there's something that you need to know. And then Jensen says, Kiana is the woman of my dreams. Everything about tonight needs to be perfect. And then Fallon says, well, if she plays with her keys, fumbles with her keys, that means that she wants you to kiss her.
That one I've actually never heard.
I have never heard that either.
I am not waiting for somebody to act like they're fucking with their keys. Well, I'm married now. I'm talking about 15 years ago, Steve, right? I've never had to wait for anybody to fumble with their keys. Sorry. Anyways, we'll move on. I'm going to get myself in trouble here. This whole storyline is just so good. It's such good fodder for jokes and conversation.
Oh, I know. Especially later on when the huge really reveal was exactly what we thought it was going to be.
Yeah, exactly. Keys. What the hell? So we got Jacy Jayne walking backstage, but Waller is yelling at HBK at the gorilla position. Matt Bloom steps in, is like, back up, and Waller's like, oh, you're just a stooge. You're a stooge in a suit. And HBK tells Bloom to get Waller out of there, and then we cut to break, and then we get a cool little Apollo Crews video package. He is beside himself because of Dabba-Kato, man. He's like, yeah. He's like, last week you said, I know why. He's like, I don't know why. We had a bunch of good times. We traveled the road together. We used to, hang out. It was happy times, Dabba-Kato. But now I don't even care about. So I think they're dropping the time.
He threw his journal away.
Right. The Nostradamus stuff. He's like, I'm not worried about the future or the past.
Quatrains. Yes.
I'm worried about revenge.
Yeah.
You don't need to worry about the tea leaves because I'm going to leave you, laying in the ring.
Oh, wow. I was kind of hoping he'd write one more quatrain about how he's going to beat Dabba-Kato.
It's just like he's a really good, like he's got really good handwriting, but his drawing skills are ass. They're terrible. And so he's sitting there and it's like, yeah, see, this is me beating up Dabba-Kato. And like, I don't know, fucking when a Pretty Deadly's like, oh, that looks terrible. I don't know. I thought it was a cheeseburger, He's like, no, see, this is my arms. He's like, what? Yeah.
Anyways, then we got Jacy Jayne, her promo. It says last week was the end of the Toxic Attraction story, but the beginning of my story, and now it's all about me. And the proof is in the boot, because for the last 7 days, I've been the talk of NXT. The name on the tip of everyone's tongue is Jacy Jayne. And for those of you who keep asking if I regret stomping in Gigi's skull, the only regret is that I did do it sooner. And she says, I watched this 1,000 times. Why not 1,001? They have a video package of kind of the end of Toxic Attraction. Back to her, she says, if I have to hear one more, did you really have to kick her that hard? Yes, I did. Was
that your Wheeler Yuta voice?
I mean, it wasn't like an intentional attempt, but I guess it could be.
I swear I didn't. I was looking at the notes and not your face, and I was like, whoa, did Wheeler Yuta just tag in on the podcast?
You have a new part? Yeah. I guess not just potentially Luke, but also Wheeler Yuta as a member of the Going In Raw team.
Oh, man. Nah, man. Give me Luke any day of the week.
Oh, hell yeah. She continues, all you people want to sit here and act like Gigi is the victim. But anyone with 2 brain cells understands that I am the real victim. Gigi, your days of doing half the work and taking all the credit are over. Sorry, Janetti. I mean, Gigi.
Oof. Everyone
is going to see you for who you are because your security blanket is done protecting you. I'm no longer going to be taking care of your mistakes. But that's enough about her. Whenever in the building and everyone watching at home to listen to what I have to say, screw you.
Oof.
The last 2 years, you saw me as the one who didn't belong. You called me the third wheel. Why is Jacy in this supergroup? Well, that supergroup went on to become the most dominant female faction in WWE history. And look who is the last woman standing. And I like this. She puts the mic down, stops talking, music plays, and you hear her say, "It's me.
Yeah,
I'm here.
It's me. Did I not make that obvious enough?" Yeah. No, I thought it was good stuff. It was good stuff.
Yeah, it was solid. It was good. It was good.
After that, we had Chase U backstage, and Duke comes up to Thea, and she's still a bit jumpy. And he's like, "That's understandable. You know, whenever you're comfortable telling us what happened with the schism, we're here for you." And Chase says, "You know, we can even get your match pushed back if you're not ready to go." She's like, no, that would mean schism wins. She says, "Tonight, I got to stare at Fear and tell Fear tonight, you're getting an Andre Chase-sized ass whooping." And she had a match with Tiffany Stratton in just a moment, but they had a great Soruka
Thank you.
video package. And I really love this, man. I thought this was really cool. This is the kind of like little mini documentary stuff. She talks about her family and her trying, a variety of different things before landing on pro wrestling, including like gymnastics, doing the guitar, skateboarding was one of them.
Surfing. Mm-hmm. And I even like that she was talking about developing her finisher. She's like, "Yeah, it looks great, but the first time I did it, it sucked."
Yeah.
So that was cool. It's good stuff like this that they'll do from time to time to provide some authenticity to these characters.
Yeah, it's very relatable stuff.
It is. It's totally relatable stuff.
Yeah. Oh, man. Anyways, let's see here. After that, we had Tiffany Stratton versus Thea Hale. Boy, they really do dress up Tiffany Stratton in terms of her presentation to be a star. You know, like she has got it, and all the silly, photo cameras clicking and stuff like that. I thought her presentation is really, really terrific, and she's a good wrestler.
Yeah. She kind of did a version of Kenny Omega's "You Can't Escape" to win.
She did, yeah.
Except she did like a jump up moonsault before she did that to get the win. Basically, every member of Schism, save for Ava Rain, I don't believe she was out there, was in the ringside area up in the crowd. Sorry, with masks on. Mm-hmm. Grizzly Oak veterans were there. Gacy were there to kind of distract Thea. Mm-hmm. In the end, she lost.
Yeah. And then after that, I don't know what, it's the only thing they did to her before we move on to as much as I want to talk about.
Oh, Angelic Wolf says Ava was there. Okay, sorry, I must have looked down.
Is all they did to her like just stick a bunch of stickers on her? I mean, it's kind of fucked up, but yeah, it's not like the worst thing you could do, or even like in the top 20 worst things you could do.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Anyways.
Wow. I'm just trying to do something since Ava was the only one to take her mask off. I really wasn't paying attention then.
Yeah, I saw that, but I didn't want to be like, "Oh no, you're wrong."
Well, you should have.
Why? What does it matter? Who cares? She was there. It didn't matter. I'm not, it's okay. I'm not going to pick up everything. No, she was there. Idiot. Pay attention next time.
Should have said something.
No, you're all good. It's all good. Schism was there. It's all good. Anyways, after that, we had Tatum and Ivy in the Diamond Mine gym. Fucking water bottle starts talking to him. So Big Body Javi steps in, and he's like, "Hey, Tatum, you want to be my Javi Tyne or whatever he did. Awkward shoving Javi into everything."
I mean, like Feliz Javi Dodd. That actually really works.
That actually works because it rhymes perfectly.
Yeah.
And then she's like, "No," and then she's like, "I'm taken," and then he's like, "Ivy, do you want to be my?" She's like, "Actually, stop. I'd love to be your Javi Tyne." And then he's like, "Oh, great!" There's whoop-ah, hits him in a dragon sleeper.
Yeah.
And then she lets go because Isla Dawn she's a water bottle now, and she starts talking to them because there's like a water bottle on a little stool or table or something, and it just starts talking. It's Isla Dawn's voice.
Well, here's the thing. There's a water bottle on a stool or table, but that stool or table also had like a tablecloth over it. I was like, is Isla Dawn hiding underneath that little table?
No, because her voice was perfectly clear. So if she was hiding me on the table, I'd be like, "Hey, I'm the magic sorceress, and I'm off."
Yeah, but I know. But here's the thing. If it's a disembodied voice, it should have some sort of ethereal quality to it, right? It's really established that she's talking from using some sort of supernatural power. This sounded like that she was mic'd up fully right off camera so they could react to it.
I don't know what they were looking at, dude. I thought they were looking at the water bottle, but that whole area was there. So yeah, I mean, that'd be really underwhelming if she was just under the table, like her little head pokes out. Is that, oi?
They should have done the Conan O'Brien thing, with when Bill Clinton was on, is get a still of the water bottle, and then have her mouth on it and have her talking.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. Anything would be more that. Like, this was just weird.
It was confusing because I was like, wait, is this really poorly framed? Is she just right off the frame of camera? Is she supposed to be right there?
Well, here's some engagement, okay? If you guys are watching this on YouTube, and I want chat to do this, but also if you're watching this on demand, please leave us in the comments how you interpret this Isla Dawn bit. Was she water bottle? Was she hiding under the table stool? Was she in the wall? Like, where was she? Yeah, off frame. Was she invisible? Somebody, FN here in YouTube says she was wearing an invisibility cloak.
Could be.
Right? Is she Hollow Woman?
Yeah.
Is that what she is?
This is a situation where the ambiguity of how she managed to throw her voice or whatever doesn't make this like weirder or creepier.
Yeah.
Just confusing.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Because here's all they do is put like a little ethereal filter on her voice. Oh, it makes all the sense.
Yeah,
I get it now.
Yeah, woo, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then maybe like you could like do like a little orb thing. Is she a spy? But is she a spy balloon? Is that what she is? Calling the F-15s. Yeah. I mean, literally, Maggie says, I pictured her exactly like Larson said, off frame using a mic. That literally is what she was. Like, that was what she was.
Yeah.
But I think that because she wasn't in frame. But no, I'd love to get HBK's read on like, hey, what if we're ever in on that media call when they do another NXT event?
Yeah.
So Heartbreak, if I can call you that, Steve from Wrestle Juice, I'd like to know that one segment on NXT that lasted all of 3 minutes.
If that.
What was Isla? Where was Isla Dawn? Like, what was the idea behind? What was the genesis of that segment? Because that is at least in the running for going in Raw Wrestling segment of the year.
Yeah.
Ventriloquist could be.
Yeah, that could be. That could be. I don't know. It was very confusing though.
Yeah, man. Hold on a second. Daniel Carpenter here in chat has it. Isla Dawn. Isla Dawn, dude. Oh, I love it. That's great.
That's great. We had Axiom versus Damon Kemp next. I wish they gave this match more time because it was a lot of fun. Yeah, this was a lot of fun. Axiom's one of them dudes who it's like, he can have the goofiest superhero shit, but his in-ring A-Kid is so good. Delivers every time. And Damon Kemp is really embraced the world of professional wrestling really quickly. He's gotten really good really quick. So he hits like this awesome electric chair bridging German suplex, gets him at 2. Kemp is looking for another German suplex. Axiom flips out of that, lands on his feet, hits like a penalty kick, golden ratio to get the win. A-Kid stuff looks like his strikes especially looks stiff. Yeah, I know. He looks like he's actually kicking and punching people. Yeah, they look great. They look really great. So yeah, like you said, he hits that golden ratio for the win. After that, Grayson Waller, he's on Twitter or social or whatever. He's on his phone. After he gets kicked out of the PC, he calls him a hypocrite and a stooge. He says, I run NXT. I'm the face of NXT. Hey, Mr. Sark subbed to Tier 1. What's up, Mr. Sark? How's it going? Blast from the past. Aren't we all old men now? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, absolutely. After that, we had a Braun Breaker promo. He comes out. Yeah. It's a bit of a mixed reaction, though. There are people chanting stuff that I don't know what it is, but I can tell that it's rude to him. Well, there's a sign that said Braun sucks. Oh, and that's a bit less ambiguous. Yeah. There's also a sign that's like, yay, Waller, or something like that. Yeah. Mr. Sark. No, man. Oh, thank you so much. You rule. That's what we say. Anyways, Braun Breaker continues on. He says, it feels a little different tonight. This next challenge ahead of me is different. Seems to be the match everybody wants to see. Me versus him. And then instead of him, Carmelo Hayes, Bron is interrupted by Jinder and Indus Sher. Bron says, not the man I expected to see. And then Jinder says, a great champ must always expect the unexpected. Bron, I respectfully interrupt because I admire the fact that for almost an entire year you've carried NXT on your back. You are NXT, but I know very well the weight that you carry on your shoulder. Bron, I also know the stress of the next challenger, of retaining your title.
I completely understand the media, the appearances, the lifestyle that comes with being the champ. He says, is this the title reign you envisioned? What you dreamt of? And he's like, yeah, you're damn straight. What are you talking about?
What a terrible response.
Yeah. Jinder says, for an entire year you've been champ, but you must be deaf to not hear the small pocket of fans, which is like half the place.
Yeah.
Who once loved you, but now they're changed their tune a little. I know better than anyone else that you either die a hero or you become the villain. He says, oh, well, the fans can have their own opinions. And Jinder says, I'm here because of that arrogance. The fact that you cannot acknowledge that the tides are changing, that you are tired and vulnerable and weak. And that is why I am challenging you to a match next week for the NXT title. Bron says, yeah, that's fine. I'm a simple guy. You don't have to waste time with the new 3-man band here. And then Jinder says, Bron, these people don't like you. You mentioned 3MB for the fans to cheer you on, for them to like you. But after I take that title, they're still not going to like you. But don't worry, Bron. The Maharaja will.
Yeah, I thought Jinder was great here.
I thought Jinder was great here as well, man. I thought he's cool.
He's really breaking things down for Bron. It's like, people don't like you. They're not going to like you if you try to get the cheap pop. And especially if you lose, they're not going to have any sympathy for you. They're not going to like you then.
I feel like that was a bit of shooting there from Jinder.
It felt like a situation where, like, hey, again, this is like the kind of meta stuff they're seemingly doing now. It's like, okay, this is your opportunity to like respond both directly and indirectly to this idea that the crowd's kind of turning on you a little bit by having Jinder talk about it. And the best you can come up with is, oh, they can have their opinion. Pfft. It's weak.
I wonder how much, you bring up this entire episode in the direction of NXT lately, because I feel like NXT, especially since that last Premium Live event, I feel like they've picked up their game creatively a little bit. Like if you notice, and a lot of it I think might be something that we had mentioned about NXT UK. The characters came into UK. A lot of those guys knew each other, or they had histories.
Yeah.
Over time, it just develops and they build chemistry, they build bonds, et cetera, et cetera. And that's where NXT is kind of now. A lot of these people have been there for a while. And so they're starting to build these, relationships that have lasted a while, the chemistry also. But now they're doing some like weird meta shit, which is actually kind of interesting. It's like, okay, what is the creative process here? Are you having these guys riff? Like, was this line from Jinder? Was this something that was prearranged or
fed to him that Bron didn't know about? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's entirely possible. I mean, it's especially interesting because it is developmental.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right.
You have people that are possibly on the precipice of getting called to main roster, and as you mentioned, if you go up to main roster without a well-defined character, then you're going to get lost in the shuffle. You're going to get silence, no reaction.
Yeah.
When you get called up, and that's. In that sense, Bron is right, and that it's everybody can have their opinion, but if you're getting zero reaction, that's a difference.
Yeah,
and that's not good for your career. You want cheers, boos, something. You want some kind of noise.
You need something, yeah.
And if you're getting no noise when you get called up, you're in trouble. I don't think it's necessarily like the as bad as it was when Vince was around, because if Vince was around and you got silence and they kept on hammering that same idea home and it's still nothing, you're going to be off TV for a while. At least now I feel like with Triple H in charge, all right, this isn't working, let's try something else.
The thing about Bron, though, is that if Vince was still running creative and he showed up on main roster, he'd be Scott Steiner 2.0 in a heartbeat.
Probably.
Heartbeat. Yeah.
Probably.
Anyways, good stuff. After that, we had Roxanne and Meiko Satomura warming up in the locker room. We had seen Meiko arrive at the airport a little bit earlier in the show. Carter and Chance walk in. Carter's like, hey, we had some time to think about it. I thought they were going to try to back out of this match. She says,
yeah, it kind of seemed that way at first, huh?
Right? Like the Meiko Satomura is there. Now I'm scared.
Yeah.
She says, when we realized we were a little aggressive last week, our bad. We're sorry about that. Roxanne's like, hey, that's cool. But are you trying to back out of this match? And they're like, no. It'll be an honor to face the final boss. And Roxanne's like, hey, Meiko, thanks for being my partner. Meiko's like, yeah, I got my reasons for that, dude.
It'd been pretty funny if Carter and Chance was like, after Roxanne, you try to back out, and they're like,
well, I mean, now that you mention it, we hadn't really thought about it, but, there's no reason.
No, it's fine. We'll do it. It's all right.
Yeah. There's no reason for this match now that we've apologized.
We apologized.
So,
we should be cool.
We should be a team. Is there an 8-man we could throw together?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That way we don't have to fight Meiko. We fight with Meiko.
Exactly. I don't have to get hit by Meiko.
Exactly.
I watch her hit other people.
We got an Indy Hartwell interview. She says toxic attraction was despised by the locker room, and after everything that she put me through, I enjoyed seeing Gigi's skull get kicked in, but I listened to what Jacy's had to say, that hot garbage she was talking about. And if she thinks she's going to the top of the women's division, but just like toxic attraction is dead, Jacy is dead wrong. The only place that Jacy's going to end up is behind me.
I was going to make a joke about there really is nobody behind Indy because she's sort of at the back of the line already, but that's sort of sad. She needs to go to main roster. When are they going to do that? That's got to be post-WrestleMania.
You think so, because she ain't going to beat Jacy.
That's got to be post-WrestleMania. After that, we had so Wes Lee has his open challenge, and sure enough, as he thought, Stax and Tony D come out to answer the open challenge for the North American title. However, yeah, that's right. It's Narby's night. Right. Hard Justice, Dijak, shows up and he attacks them. They attack him. Stax is like, "Ooh, should I do the open challenge or should I go get Tony's back?" I know, it's good character stuff, right?
It is. He
elects to get Tony's back because they're family and he's the underboss. So they end up fighting all the way to the back. No open challenge, or so we thought. Von Wagner shows up. Big boot to Wesley. You think, hey,
come Tuesday after all.
As soon as this ref is going to stand up Wesley, boom, maybe another big boot. Von hits his finish. He wins the match. Wesley wins this match.
Yeah. Hits they're calling this finish the cardiac kick now. He escapes the press slam. Hits a bunch of strikes. Hits that awesome kind of flipping kick thing he does. This makes Von very unhappy that he lost. Before we see his tantrum, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We're backstage, and Hank Walker, he's got a new singlet.
Oh, he looked like $1 million. He looks great in this thing. I was like, oh, shit, they really found the look for him.
Yeah. And so he's like, hey, Drew, look. New singlet. And Drew says, well, are you ready tonight? And Hank says, no, my new boots haven't come in yet, so I got to wear my old ones. And Drew says, I thought that might happen here. You can have a pair of mine. He's got these cool silver boots.
Oh, those were great, man. They look like they were from the future.
Yeah, they're pretty neat.
I like these silver boots. These are so cool. I'm fucking high right now. Jason Jimerson here in chat says, was Dijak's finger fixed? I mean, Gravy shows up and his finger's like hanging off.
It's like an AI art Dijak,
huh? Fucking AI art, man.
It's something else.
Can't get those fingers right.
No. Then we had Charlie Dempsey versus Hank Walker. So Hank dared to put a submission hold on Charlie. Then Charlie reverses that into his own submission finisher, and Hank Walker taps pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So then after the bell rings, Charlie Dempsey puts that move back on Hank Walker as Gulak watches on the floor. And then when Dempsey finally lets it go, Gulak gets on the apron. They have a bit of a stare down. And then Gulak opens the ropes for Dempsey, and they walk out together. They're friends now.
You know what I really want somebody to do is take that moment and then add the Careless Whisper saxophone to it.
Oh, that's good.
Please, somebody at Real Going In Raw, give us the Careless Whisper saxophone with that moment. That's going to be, dun, dun, dun. Yeah, it's great. That's going to be a killer tag team.
It is.
If they actually package them together correctly, that's a main roster tag team there that I would die to see.
I know. That'd be great. Then we're backstage, and Von's having another tantrum in the locker room. He says, in North America... Sorry, Steve, you want to be Von Wagner here?
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, I got to get into it. Hey, that North American title slipped through my hands. What? You got nothing to say?
And then Stone says, I've got plenty to say, Vaughn, but that's the point. You didn't lose the match because you lacked the in-ring ability. You got plenty of that. You lost the match because you don't have a connection to me.
What?
You don't have a connection to the WWE Universe. You don't have a connection to anyone. You got to break those walls down. Vaughn, you got to help me help you. Help me help you. Listen, I don't have time for anybody who has their walls up. The biggest thing you have going for you is that you're a meme that says, come Tuesday.
Come Tuesday?
You want to know what I have time for? The guy that's inside, and I believe there's a guy inside you. I can help you. I know. Help you get where you want to go.
Tuesday. Where else is he gonna be?
I can help you get where you want to go, but you gotta help me help you.
Who's inside me? Thought that happens later. I thought that happens when he jiggles his keys.
Oh man.
Oh man, that's right. After that, we had Gallus there in a bar playing some pool. Pretty Deadly come in, and they're like, you guys aren't great in the ring or at billiards. And they challenge them to game to pool. They're like, hey, we're trying to get our pool going here. And then Pretty Deadly, they just get worked. And they're like, hey, how about another game? Yeah. If we win, we get a title shot. And they're trying to liquor up Gallus. But the thing about Gallus is like their tolerance is super high.
Yeah, they drink all the time.
Right. Was this Fallon's bar?
It looked like it, yeah.
Okay, nice. So they get...
she has patrons at her bar. What's she worried about?
Oh, dude, don't even get me started on her, man. What a busy body, say the least. So Pretty Deadly try to get the Gallus boys drunk to help them win, but that just seems to focus Gallus even more because they're just balling here.
Powers them up, yeah.
Exactly. Anyways, Pretty Deadly gets worked at the pool, and Gallus says, boys, if you want a title shot, all you gotta do is ask. And they're like, oh, cool. So like we can do that. He's like, we're not like New Day. I'm not gonna send you on a bunch of errands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So then we got an Ilia Dragunov interview. He says it was a difficult path for my recovery. I had internal bleeding, but I believe pain helps make you feel alive. And Mackenzie mentions that last week when Ilia punched JD. Now JD has a detached retina. Mm-hmm. And Ilia responds to that by saying, my retribution was coming in for JD. This is just the beginning. And then Trick shows up on the monitor behind Mackenzie. He calls out Ilia. And so Ilia leaves. And so while Ilia is walking from the interview station to the ring, Trick's in the ring just talking a bunch of crap. Says, I hear you're the baddest man on the planet, and I want to find out for myself. I'm going to drop you like a mixtape. I got a right hand with a snooze button on it. He says, Booker, get some popcorn, about to put on a show.
Yeah. God, he's so good. Trick is so good.
He's great. So Ilia makes his way to the arena, inside the arena, gets in the ring, tells Trick, very entertaining. You're the life of the party. But I didn't come back to NXT to have fun. You felt what it felt like to keep me away from my mission. And I have no problem. And Trick punches him. And then Ilia responds with the enziguri. It sends Trick out of the ring. And then JD comes out. He's got like a patch, not like a pirate patch, but like, over his eye. Because he's got a detached retina. Yeah. And so he says, Ilia, you should be in jail after your sneak attack last week. You should have stayed home after I beat you last time. But now you're going to force me to show these people what I'm really capable of. And this time, I'm going to beat you so badly you won't be able to hold your son.
Yeesh.
So Trick gets back in the ring and lays out Ilia from behind. And he leaves. Then JD's about to get in. Ilia gets to his feet. And JD's like,
nope. Don't want none of that.
Nope.
Don't want none of that. After that, Mello's in the locker room and Trick shows up. He's like, my hands and feet are ready to eat for everybody. Mello says, I hear you, but Ilia's different, man. And Trick says, I'm different. It's my time. And Mello says, he warns him. He's like, you woke up a man dragon. And Trick says, Ilia can throw a shoulder at me, his knees, his toes. It don't matter. He's going to learn that Trick Willie is the meanest, the prettiest, the baddest. And that's all there is. And that's all it's going to be.
Yeah, Trick is great.
He really is, man. That dude's got charisma for days.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So then we're at the conclusion of Jensen and Kiana James's date. He's taking her home. So they're standing outside her front door, and she says, thank you. And Jensen's just being super nervous and awkward. And Kiana is like fumbling with her keys.
Yeah, he's so bricked up right now.
And like in the most obvious sense, basically holding her keys in front of his face, just fumbling around with them.
Right, yeah.
And so he starts to make a move, starts to lean in to get a kiss, and that's when Fallon and Briggs step up. And Fallon says, Brooks, did Kiana tell you that she's cheating on you?
Oh, God.
And Kiana's like, what are you talking about?
The fuck?
Like, you're not going to tell him? I love you, Zach? And then Kiana's like, no, I'm not cheating. I said I love you, Zach, because Zach is my brother. And at that moment, Zach opens the door.
Hey, guys. Hey, what's up? I fed the dog. And I'm going to take off now. Goodbye.
Yeah. And so he leaves. And so Kiana's like, Fallon, when are you going to learn to trust me? And then she walks in the house. And then Jensen is just so downtrodden and sad. He puts his head down.
You have a nasty case of the blue balls, man.
Yeah. So then Fallon tries to apologize, and Brooks is so sad. He just goes, "It's all good." He just walks.
Wow. Oh, man. Jensen, all you got to do, go to the bathroom, crank it out. You feel like $1 million. I like that Briggs is just along for the ride, too. This dude is not a man of action. He's just there. Oh, man. What's going on? Dang it. Oh.
Like when Fallon says, "Brooks, Kiana's cheating on you." And he just looks at Fallon and goes, "Really, dude?"
Yeah, right. And I love he's always so fidgety. He's always like adjusting his hat. Oh, man. Really, dude? Yeah. Oh, man. Oh, what's going on, Jensen? Oh, no. 9 out of 10, man. Oh, man. Can't believe you just did that, Fallon. Oh, man. Let's go to the bar. Who wants to get drunk?
We got the place to ourselves.
We got the place to ourselves. Oh, man. And then we had our main event, Carter and Chance versus Roxanne Perez and Meiko Satomura. And this is a good, again, like you said earlier, they didn't give this match a lot of time. They could have given it a lot more time, but it's always so much fun watching. Carter and Chance are so creative in that ring together.
I know. And then Meiko's is the one that's isolated for a good stretch, but she eventually gets the tag on to Perez after she escapes Carter and Chance's finish.
Yeah.
And then I think Roxanne hits like one move, pop rocks on Carter to get the win.
Yeah, right.
And then afterwards, Meiko gets the mic, says, "Roxanne, I did something for you, and now I'd like you to do something for me." And then she points at the NXT Women's title, and Roxanne says it would be an honor. And holds it up. So we're getting that next week, I think. Oh, no, it might be at a Roadblock.
Yeah, that's right, because they announced they're doing like a Roadblock thing.
Yeah, it's early March.
Yeah, that'll be cool. I hope that's just sort of, going to be Meiko's thing, and then she goes to main roster, because how cool would that be? I don't know if she wants to do all the traveling. I hope she does. I'd love to see that on main roster. But you never know what people's motivations are, if she's just going to be here for a second, because I think she runs like a school and maybe even a promotion back in Japan. I don't know. Want to give a quick shout out here to some returning and new channel members: KMR, Star-Lord, Chris Mojica, Mochi. And then I thought there was another one. Hold on a second here. But it says message retracted.
Yeah.
I don't know if they retracted their membership or what. But thank you. Mr. Retracted, if that actually did happen.
I mean, that used to be your favorite message when we used to do YouTube all the time. So maybe that was a shout out to that.
Oh, that could be. Yeah, maybe their name is messing. I don't know what it is.
I don't know.
And then we also got a couple new patrons here as well. I want to give a thanks to them. Stan Kanopka and Adam Beveridge. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So right now, available now, you can put in your predictions for Elimination Chamber on the channel membership page. All you got to do is click join, and then you go to the membership tab on our YouTube channel. Or if you're a $5 and up patron, just go to the Patreon wall and all the posts there. It's one of the posts available there that went up yesterday. And you can put in your predictions and try to get those bonus points heading into the big red title defense at AEW Revolution coming up here in about 3 weeks or so, a little less than 3 weeks.
We got 33 entrants thus far for the challenge this month, and you got till Saturday at noon Pacific. That's 3 p.m. Eastern time to get your picks in. And at noon, closed. No more picks will be accepted.
Absolutely. So yeah, get your picks in. If you want to wait for Friday SmackDown, you can always go in and make your picks and then edit them after the fact.
Correct. Again, but
as well,
you have to edit them by noon Pacific.
That's the cutoff time.
Saturday.
Yeah, exactly. That's the cutoff. So there you go. Let's go ahead and hop into some of these questions. I'm not sure how many we have on the community tab, but I'll take a look.
We got a few here on Patreon. We got kind of similar questions from David Matushek here on Patreon and Jorge D here on Twitch chat. Basically, now that NXT has embraced the Von Wagner meme, what other wrestling memes should they acknowledge next?
Well, they've also acknowledged the Steiner math quite a few times.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Oh, man. What other memes?
They should just do whole bits from Botchamania. Just literally whole segments.
Yeah, that's good.
I am the table.
I am the table. Yeah, do that.
Yeah,
I like that. That's good. Let's see here. We sort of talked about that a little bit from JR Jr. Oh man. Which also retired legend should be Shawn Michaels' proxy for this match they seem to be building to. So we need another retired legend.
Another one other than X-Pac?
Other than X-Pac, yeah. Give me RVD. Did we ever have like a proper Shawn Michaels? We should have, man, they never really did a proper RVD Shawn Michaels feud. Did they?
I'm aware of, no.
Did they ever?
I really wasn't watching a bunch back then.
I was sort of tuning in and out back then, but it doesn't seem like, let's see here, RVD versus, they had to have had an actual match.
I would think they probably had a match.
Oh, here we go. They did have a match. Okay, so Shawn Michaels defended against Rob Van Dam.
All right.
Was this like on a Raw or something? I'll have to go back and watch that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, I think X-Pac's still the the best idea.
Mm-hmm. Joe Hansen says Lord Tensai.
Oh yeah,
they could totally do that.
Cat Dad 7 here says is the reason Braun's entrances are so lackluster because there has to be budget cuts for Cody's pyro due to his complex contract.
Oh man, that could be possible.
I just want to know whose ideas those are. Is that Shawn Michaels?
Oh, the breaking of stuff.
Braun?
The breaking of stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, how about this? We do a poster, Greg Swar, rip through it.
I walked through a poster, but here's the thing. We already cut in half.
Yeah.
It's perfect. Right, so what are you breaking then?
I don't know. It's too much pressure being champion.
Plane.
Yeah, the plane. Let's see here. Edward Munoz says, assuming Sammy and Roman end with a schmoz, and we do get a Mania triple threat, what do you think they should do? Do they Daniel Bryan it and give it to Sammy, or stick to their guns and stay with Cody? I think that the more interesting thing would be to have Sammy win, and then because then there's a lot of stories you could do with that. If Sammy loses, like he just has to fuck off, But if he wins, I don't think they're going to do that shit though.
No, I don't think they're going to do that either. Although I will say this: if somehow, some way, they set the story up where there's more satisfaction, and I don't know how they would do this. More satisfaction for Sammy to cost Roman the title than beat Cody to win the titles, and then he'd do that. That way Cody would still win. Sammy leads directly to him, the Roman losing, and yet he's like, okay, I'm cool with that. I don't know how you would do that. But
yeah, I know. So I have like Gypsy's back there, and I got that blanket right there. But I like put her. She always freaks out when she has like a big bone that I got her, right. But she doesn't. She doesn't really do like that a lot. She doesn't do. I don't like get her that a lot. But she freaks out with it. Like she don't know what to do. Like she'll just roam around the house with it in her mouth. Like, what do I do with this thing? So she goes like in the backyard with it, but it just comes right back in. And then because now I put it under that blanket over there, so now she's like just sort of being around it a lot. Yeah, she don't know what to do. Makes me laugh. Dave Matushek says, considering that NXT reference, sorry, you already got that one. Mayor Planet Houston says, WWE gives ACW, which, by the way, there's another episode of Surge out right now. Gives ACW approval to book NXT stars on their shows for the right price. You remember you have Evie's credit card and still decide to get as many NXT stars as possible. Book an entire show of ACW versus NXT wrestlers.
All right.
Von Wagner versus
Trip Rogers.
Oh, perfect. That's perfect. That's good. I like that a lot.
Who is Alpha Zoe taking on?
Oh man. I'd give Alpha Zoe. Oh, I'd give him Carmelo.
Yeah.
That's the best match. That's the match.
Yeah, that'd be something else. That'd be outstanding.
Yeah, I think that's good. Let's see here. Nikyle says, should WWE do a double turn based on the crowd responses Carmelo Hayes and Braun Breaker are getting? I don't like. How would you do a heel Braun Breaker? Because I don't know if you want to do just would you do like a Crisis of Confidence where he cheats?
Who, Braun?
Yeah.
No, he's going to main roster. He just loses and teleports.
No, I'm talking about if they're like, oh, we want to make him heel.
Oh, Bron?
Yeah.
Sure.
Where he just cheats and shit?
Or maybe the idea is, all right, going into the match, he's like, what do I care? I'm going to the main roster next.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they get hella meta with it. Yeah. What do I care? I'm going to main roster.
Yeah, I wouldn't lose. I'm going to the main roster, so
yeah,
I don't care what people think about me.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, it just doesn't.
In a way, that would be its own heel turn.
Stops giving a shit. Yeah. He goes out there instead of breaking something, he doesn't. Like there's something there. It's like, oh, he's going to break through. This is going to be great. He just walks around it.
Sidesteps it, yeah. They have like something cool and elaborate that if he smashes it, it's going to like set off a bunch of pyrotechnics and stuff.
Right, yeah.
And he looks at it, teases. Yeah, let's walk around it.
Yeah, exactly. Not doing that shit. Let's see here. Cole Cruz says, which legend that had a lackluster retirement match would you want to come back for a final match, leave on a better note? And who would it be against, for example, like Stone Cold versus Kevin Owens?
Well, Stone Cold's prior retirement match against The Rock was pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Who's had a lackluster retirement match?
See, I don't know. All the names I could think of. All right, Die Hard Homer has a good answer. Kurt Angle.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
That's probably the right answer.
You know what I would do if I would give Lita a proper retirement match? Because she, like her one, when she left WWE, it was horrible. They did some weird shit, some weird Vince shit with it. Mm-hmm. If Lita wanted, if she actually was like, hey, I'm going to retire, I'm not going to wrestle anymore, give her like a proper good retirement match.
Yeah. High Plains Drifter asks, which NXT tag team has the best chance for success on Main?
There's actually a couple of them, man. I think Gallus has a good shot. Pretty Deadly has a good. I think Pretty Deadly's up there. Mm-hmm. They so understand their characters.
Yep.
They really understand their characters.
They really do.
Diamond Mine, I think they'll do great on mine. Although I get the feeling Julius might go solo before that happens.
Entirely possible.
Yeah.
Oh, John Fear and Loathing, that's a great answer. You know who really needs a real retirement match? Nigel McGuinness.
Oh, that's a good answer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is a good. I think he could still wrestle too.
Yeah, that's my understanding as well.
Yeah. Let's see here. Brendan Monroe says WWE brings in a trios title and has a tournament of 8 teams.
Oh wow!
To decide the first champ. Who would be your 8 team? I'm not booking 8 teams. But
what we can do, and I'll come up with 2.
Okay.
Trios. We got to have Judgment Day. We got Imperium. Mm-hmm. For sure. Mm-hmm. White Brownie.
Indus-Sher and Jinder.
Hurt Business. Indus-Sher and Jinder, yeah.
I mean, fuck. Dempsey, Gulak, and Hank Walker.
There we go. They're probably getting eliminated the first round, but
or just bring back D Familia.
Yeah.
Every time I see Charlie Dempsey, I just miss D Familia.
Gallus, another good team.
Gallus. Creeds and Ivy Nile.
Okay, good.
That'd be sick. That'd be cool, man.
Oh, Brawling Brutes, yeah.
Brawling Brutes.
Legato. Man, there's a lot of good trios.
British Strong Style.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That's the shit right there, man. That's the shit. All right, well, that's going to do it for the show today. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. We'll be back tomorrow with our AEW review. Hopefully, you will join us on Saturday for our Elimination Chamber watch-along and review. Mm-hmm. And until next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.